And my question to you is, the vehicle that we're about to discuss, what you know about it right now, on a 0 to 100% scale, 100% being totally, absolutely, exactly as presented, 0% being it's going to be a pink tricycle. What do you think the reality of this product will finally reflect versus what we were introduced last week?
I would say that we're going to make sure it's going to be road legal. They might smooth off some of the edges. I don't know that they will round them, but they might make them a little less sharp. And some of the features will be fleshed out, and some of them will move into packages. And others, they will pretend they never said it.
That's not a numerical answer, Mr.
So, I would say we're going to see north of 85% of what we saw.
I'm writing this down.
Okay.
Casey, 85%. Paul Guzik.
80%.
Oh, really?
The reason I say that is when you look back at the other four vehicles and how much they've changed from when they first showed them to us, it wasn't, except for the beta Model S, there wasn't really that much change between them.
Mr. Coughlin.
I go 85.
Wow.
So if it's anything less than 80, I win, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say 65%.
All right.
Okay.
But then if it's 65 and it looks different, or are you saying that the shape is going to be the same?
That's where it breaks down as a judgment tool. So obviously we're talking about the Tesla Cybertruck,
right?
The Blade Runner inspired 30 times cold rolled steel. What the hell does that mean? No, actually, Casey was nice enough to explain it in the Tesla Life. It means that it's been cold rolled 30 times.
Versus hot stamped.
Yeah. So
they start out with a big, thick piece of steel, and they keep squeezing it and squeezing it.
Maybe. So according to Tesla, this makes the steel stronger.
Is it like cutting heroin? They just.
So the dictionary definition
profitable.
is in metallurgy of metal having been rolled into sheets while cold, resulting in a smooth, hard finish.
A smooth, hard finish. Oh, there you go. So the Tesla Cybertruck, it was rolled out. It's going to come in at least 3 basic iterations, starting at 39, going up to 69, depending on whether you want 1, 2, or 3 motors and all of that. It's going to have a huge amount of range, in some cases, crazy, ridiculous range. It's going to be very fast when you get into the tri-motor version. It is in my opinion, this is the most concept-y design that Tesla's ever released as this is what your next vehicle is going to look like. I looked at the Model 3 and I went, that's what the Model 3 is going to look like. I looked at the S, the X, that's what that's going to look like. And it more or less did. This, I'm not getting this at any level.
They only had one, right? Like when they broke the window, they had to go fix the windows before they give test drives in it.
Yeah.
They only
and that one is 2 weeks old.
They had a clay model on stage as well.
3 weeks old now. Yeah, the clay one, but clay doesn't count.
Right.
That screams concept car, not close to production.
I don't know if it screams anything more than what the Model Y and the Model 3 were. Besides, the 3 had 2 cars that were working. One was a model.
Yeah.
So with the Model Y. I think they had 2 running as well,
and one non-functional.
So is it any different?
I would say this screams them getting their homework done right when the teacher is calling for you to hand it in.
I would say, I think reasonable people can come to different conclusions, but again, watching those debuts for those other vehicles, I went, yeah, okay, they can build a car like that. Okay, they've already admitted they don't know how to fabricate the steel into this shape. They had to perforate the back of the sheets to get the sharp corners that they got. They've already admitted that. They don't even know how they're going to build the body. They don't have the machines yet.
They're going to laser etch the ones they've got and fold them. So the only difference is how they made the cuts, and how they're going to get a machine to do it quickly, and if the numbers are going to come in exactly where Elon expected them to. So hopefully they don't, end up being too expensive. Because
go ahead, Mark. I can see you bottling up.
250,000 of them to make already. But regardless of how done it is, this was not a Bet the Company car like the Model 3 was, like the Model X kind of was, like the Model S definitely was, and the Roadster. If those three main cars, the Roadster, the Model S, and the Model 3, had not worked, they wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be talking about them. But if this car had been a complete flop and nobody had ordered one, he said they would make another one that was more appealing. That doesn't scream that
this truck is what will be sold. What we saw on the stage, it's going to be damn close to that. Yes, it might have some mirrors. Yes, there may be different tires on it, but this stainless steel, weird-looking triangle mobile will be what they sell. Yeah. This is what they're going to sell.
Yeah.
And you're right,
Yosemite
Russell.
Sam mud flaps?
It may have mud flaps. It may not.
Might not need them.
But when Russell says that it's the most concept-y vehicle he's seen in a Tesla, yeah, it is. It's a complete departure from anything they've designed to this point, which is not a huge repertoire. It's what, 4 cars, 5 cars?
Right.
Like this is not a company.
Semi-truck.
This is not a company that has, has decades of designs. This has come out of left field, and Elon, in his tweets, has said many times, this is going to be polarizing. This is not what you expect. This is going to look different. People are going to hate it. People are going to love it. And he's already said this. And what he showed us, man, that covered it exactly. There were people hating it immediately, and there were people loving it immediately. Yeah. This is what they're going to sell. This is what they're going to attempt to sell.
Yeah, and the bit about the mirrors, I mean, anything that they've built from scratch, what they showed off first to us, it never has mirrors on it. From the Model S to the semi-truck, nothing has had a mirror on it.
Yeah, I don't want to get into the weeds on it. It doesn't have mirrors. The headlights aren't legal. The tires aren't. I mean, and I get it, but there's going to be tweaks. But I'm talking about an 18-foot-long stainless steel truck. Okay? I'm not talking about a sedan with 4 doors. Look.
He's always said this was going to be a work truck. This was going to hold 6 people. This was going to have a serious suspension system. This was going to have the ability to run your pneumatic tools. It's going to have the ability to plug in your electric tools. This is going to be a work truck, and that's what this is.
You can put under
like when you talk about a stainless steel exterior, talk about low maintenance. Yeah. You don't give a hoot what happens to the exterior of the truck because it's basically indestructible. Yeah. People can whack the door all day long, and it doesn't matter that there's a little dent in the side because this thing is going to prevent that. Like like you'd be taking this thing to a mall on a Saturday afternoon, parking it in with the other cars and going, I dare you to hit it. Go ahead.
The steel is freaking heavy. I mean.
Yeah, he said right now the doors are at 80 pounds, and they wanted to make them, instead of 3 mils, he wanted to make them 5, but then the doors have been over 100 pounds each, and so he had to back down from that.
Does anybody know anything about DeLorean?
Yeah.
A little bit.
The other company that made stainless steel cars?
Yeah.
They successful.
No. I don't want to go there. I'm talking about the actual production of stainless steel. You know that most of the ones in private collections now that still exist have all been clear coated because the stainless steel develops a patina. Patina is a nice way of saying tarnished. No, not rust, but it changes color. It loses its brightness. Okay. So most of the current owners in the museums have clear coated them. They have to.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that Tesla might not apply some kind of finish or anything like this, but again, just like the brushed steel in and of itself isn't necessarily maintenance free.
Gotcha.
Well, I've heard from people that own DeLoreans that have said the car is basically, the exterior is indestructible. It'll last forever. Some people claim that you can just clean it with Windex and a cloth. You don't need any polishes.
Yeah, SOS.
You don't. Yeah, and SOS would leave if it's a steel wool, and like that's not a good idea. But basically, they say you can buff out even a scratch with like a Scott's extra abrasion pad.
I've heard that you can fix a lot of stuff with it. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know directly any DeLorean owners. I've done a lot of reading, and I know, so and that's what I've read.
Yeah.
From reliable sources. One thing that really irritated me, and I know this is a really little thing, so whatever. You guys can fight about it if you want or not. But so the hubris, the arrogance of dismounting a gas motor from a Yamaha ATV and slapping something in it and running it up the back of the bed of your brand new truck and saying, look, we got an ATV too. The arrogance of that, like the idea that we're going to do this. We're going to make this. And as I said on the Tesla Life, this is from a guy who said Tesla will never make a motorcycle. ATV, not a motorcycle. Okay, fine. Whatever. I get it. But it kind of galls me because they don't have the plans for an electric ATV.
No, it's window dressing on the truck is what it is.
It's solar tile. Look, this exists. Oh wait, no, it doesn't.
But it's also a thing to gauge people as to what they're excited about. If Absolutely. This is an option that the public wants, this could be another facet of the business. This could be someone in Tesla saying, this is our perfect opportunity to try this out. It's a nice accessory for the truck, even just for the unveil. It's impressive. Why would we not try it and gauge what the customer response is? Perfect opportunity to do so.
I guess.
As I said on the Tesla Life, the only thing that I found weird was that these have a worse record for safety than motorcycles. And he said he wasn't going to make a motorcycle because he had a close call. But I think it's a really cool thing.
I think it's a great thing. Yeah. I wish they'd make a motorcycle. I wish they'd make I hope they make an ATV. I just think it's really like to just roll out a fake one. That's just, I get it. I know it's a sales technique.
So that one I say is a 25% chance of showing up the way they said it will. That one I suspect will be completely different by the time that we get our option to buy the ATV.
They'll have to make like a wedge-shaped ATV as well.
Yeah, because it looks like on the other one they just put the panels onto, took the plastic off the other one and put on the metal panels.
I'm going to make a prediction.
Okay.
The roll-up vault door.
Yeah.
That's going to be this vehicle's version of Falcon Wing doors.
Yeah.
And Elon's going to regret his Fabergé egg.
Well, he always does something weird with door handles, doors, or glass.
Glass? Did you mention glass? You
yes. Did mention glass.
So the nuclear-proof glass, that's the windshield that's going in the semi.
Yeah.
Was tested out here in a little impromptu demonstration with a what looked like a steel ball.
Steel ball.
And
a steel ball.
I'm sorry?
Probably a steel billiard ball.
Yeah, I don't know.
Either way, it looks smaller than the trailer hitch receiver. The trailer hitch that he showed us smacking into the semi last year.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's embarrassing. And you know what? Failures.
I think that was all planned. I mean, they were in every single newspaper on every news art the next day that their windows broke, and they got lots of free publicity out of that.
I think that was
come back and say we reformulated. It won't happen again. Look, here's a test. Look, it works now.
Yeah,
we're all good.
I think that was a happy accident.
Yeah,
happy accident.
Yeah. What's the painter's name again with the hair? Bob Ross.
Huh?
The painter who has the happy trees. He has happy accidents.
Oh, I'm sorry. The painter on television that does his.
Oh, Bob Ross.
Bob Ross. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I think it was a happy accident that it worked out because you could tell in Elon's demeanor and his presentation, like he shifted after those windows broke. And Franz is like, "Are you sure?" And he's like, "Yeah, go ahead, do it." And he threw the second one, and look, it didn't go through.
I'm telling you, heads rolled really hard,
Yes.
like within minutes of the end of that presentation.
Yeah, but
okay?
hold on. So, like, within an hour, they had new glass in the doors, right?
Yeah.
Like, this wasn't planned. You're going to roll it. You're not going to have every single part of the car on the shelf ready to fix it if something breaks during the demo.
Yeah, this was probably another engineering sample. Like either this was not the indestructible glass, or it was another formulation of what
The
they
point
would
is
have
that
put.
they fixed it within an hour and were giving rides in that same car to people, journalists.
Yeah, because on the other side of the wall is the room where they hand built it.
Yeah, it's not like this was built in a
but you're not
far away
gonna have
place.
the glass panels on the shelf sitting there.
You might have
the-
a backup.
Yeah, if this was the B team and they decided they weren't going to
This
use
is the
it.
only vehicle you got, and you know you have to drive it. Maybe it's a requirement to have a backup part for every part.
Maybe.
Maybe, but I think it was
Which
all
would be
planned.
another good. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, if it was planned, that was a hell of a plan. Because you're right, they got a ton of coverage.
Oh,
Ton of coverage.
more coverage than you could
Yeah.
get an ad on the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if
free.
it had gone off without a hitch, they would have got a lot less
Yes.
spotlight, right? So
all the headlines were Tesla's windows smashed or whatever. You know?
Right.
Truck is ugly.
Right.
Window smashed. Otherwise, it would have just been truck is ugly or nothing.
or nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. But I think the parts on hand thing might actually be a part of it because the demo truck is a dual motor, not a plaid. The only two plaids we know of are on a ship from Germany, and we've got plenty of dual motors all over the nation already, so we can get spares for those.
How cool was it that they copied Rivion's pop-out kitchen?
Yeah, I love that. One of my favorite features.
I was kind of shocked. Like, wow, this is Tesla following, not leading. Okay, cool. I get it. It's a great idea.
Yeah,
It's a wonderful idea.
Yeah, when I thought I was getting a Rivian, I was like, man, I'm going to lose all that space because I want the kitchen. And now I'm not getting a Rivian, so...
It'll be interesting to see which one comes out first.
The Rivian.
We'll see. They haven't produced them yet either.
One, the Lord Motor or whatever.
Yeah, but the Bollinger?
The other truck company.
The Bollinger
Workhorse
Lundstrom or something like that.
10% of the Lordstown plant has been purchased from GM. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lordstown.
Well,
They say they're going to be first.
we know that Rivian has at least 10 prototypes on the road, so they've already got 10 times more prototypes that we know of.
I don't know. I'm not...
Well, who on the panel looked at this truck initially, said you didn't like it, and now a week later you're thinking, well, it's not too bad.
I bought one.
Right? Casey explained that's the case. So yeah. Russell and Paul, you haven't moved your stance on what it looks like.
I mean, it might be cool for off-roading or something, but as a practical vehicle, I don't know. I guess if I see one in real life, maybe I'll change, but right now I still think it's a fugly truck.
I think parking is
I want to. This is kind of a unicornish in my world, and I said that on the Tesla Life. I said it's hard for me. I was going to hold back my opinions and be a little more opinionated on this show, and just talk about objective stuff as much as possible on the Tesla Life. And I don't. Obviously, I said 65%, right? So I'm not a strong believer that really just barely most of what we saw is actually going to make it to the final production vehicle. Now, are they going to shorten it? Is it going to be a different material? Will the metal be different? I mean, I get that it'll probably look like it in a lot of ways, and I don't have a problem with the styling. This just doesn't.
But it's very like 80s square type car style, like the Toyota MR2. Remember that little sports car? It was all square angles, no curves on it.
It's an Aztec.
Yeah, it's an Aztec.
I mean,
Aztec with a bed.
And we laugh, right? But And that's not necessarily bad because you know what? I'll admit I thought the Aztec design was cool. Do I ever want to own one? Hell no. But
now
I
it's kinda
like
so ugly, it's
things.
cool.
Yeah, I like things that have a personality. So I mean, there's certain aspects to this truck, Mark. I think getting back to that appeal to me. I'm not believing that I can make a judgment on this vehicle until I see something that is more provable, closer to production. That's all.
I did like the Aztec way better than the Buick, whatever the Buick one of it was.
Enclave.
Not the Enclave. It got canceled when the Aztec got canceled.
There was even an Oldsmobile one too, I think.
Yeah, that was even worse than the Buick.
Yeah,
it's interesting that this truck, which we were told would be very polarizing, bang on the money. It is.
I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
He said it'd be polarizing.
It's something that invokes people to strong emotion, hate, love. But I found myself looking at it over and over and over, and except for the back end, I'm starting to like it. Like it's changed my thought. But I'm like that with anything, though. I find that the new idea posted to me, I may not like it at first, but it is, as long as I keep my mind open, I look at it and think about it a little bit more over time, it typically grows on me.
But Mark, like, do you own a pickup truck, or would you ever?
I have owned a pickup truck. It was my first vehicle. I bought a used pickup. But today I have no use for a pickup. I don't have room for a 16-foot pickup, and I don't want a pickup sitting in my driveway all the time. I just don't.
You just want a friend with a pickup when you need to move something.
That's the only time you want a pickup, really. Yeah. But it's but if I had a business, just a business that would require me to drive around town in, I'm thinking that this is a billboard to advertise your business.
The first
you slap a logo on it,
name on it.
Yeah, you slap a logo on this thing, and people will be twisting their heads off trying to see what just passed them. Like it will be incredible attention getter.
Yeah.
So the people that are most pissed off this week are not the people you would suspect.
No.
It's polarizing, yeah.
Oh, yes.
But I think the people that are really, really angry are the people at General Motors who thought they might maybe sort of bring back an electric Hummer and had their hopes dashed before them that an even less practical vehicle has been introduced.